So now we're going to have a little bit of a different pitch. It's a little bit more of a share your story, tell us what's going on with your company. We're going to have Marlino from Huemanly.
All right, good morning, everyone. And so instead of pitching, I wanted to just give you guys value and give you something to take home today. So I wanted to start off with a question. And the question is, what is the biggest challenge all businesses face? Whether you're a startup, investor, solopreneur, etc., what do you guys think is the biggest challenge all businesses face right now? Anybody? Employees? Exposure? Capital? Okay. Now, although those answers are correct, the biggest challenge really is communicating clearly and being understood. Because if you really think about it, if you can't articulate and tell your story, if people can't understand it, they're not even going to buy from you. They won't even listen to you. They won't even give you attention. And so what if I told you there was a secret sauce and for you to get that type of clarity? You guys want to hear what that sauce looks like? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I started Huemanly because we have a clear vision of the kind of world that we want to live in. And it's a world where people come first. It's where businesses are empathetic and human. And it's where businesses not only make a difference for others, but they focus on just creating more impact and more meaning. And so that secret sauce I was telling you guys about is this. It's brand. If you really think about it, it really is brand. Now, the word brand is tossed around a lot these days because everyone's trying to figure out how to, stand out in the world, how to be different, how to fit in, right? But if you really think about the core of what a brand is really about values. It's all about values. Now, it's not your logo, it's not your trademark, it's not marketing. These are all byproducts of what a brand does. And so that's the misconception. So we just want to make sure that we're all clear on that. But what a brand can actually do is really prepare you and create more impact for you, okay? And so we've simplified what that definition of brand looks like. And it looks like this. The brand is the outcome of how effectively you exchange value. Everyone say outcome. Everyone say value. So like I said, everything is all about value. Like this table. How do we know this is a table? How do we know it's meant to hold things up? We gave it meaning. And so in order for things to have value, you have to create that meaning for it. And so what I wanted to do is kind of show you this illustration that I just heard recently, and I thought it was a great fit for what we're talking about today. So every business is almost like an airplane, right? All you need for an airplane to fly is one engine. Do you guys agree with that? Right? So in order for an airplane to get from A to B, it just needs one engine and it can just get by. But what happens if you add two engines to it? You can go farther. You can serve more people. You can make a difference for more lives. This is your brand. And the funny thing is, not everyone is using it. Everyone has a brand, whether you realize it or not. The only difference is if you actually implement it or activate it into your business. And so what I'm going to share with you guys today is 3 ways to activate that brand for your business. And it's simple and it's quick, and you can leave today knowing that you have the capacity to do it. So everyone say, I can do it.
I can do it.
All right. So here we go. First step, connect to your core. This is where you start to ask yourself, why am I different? Why does my company have the right to exist? Why does my company have the right to exist beyond money? Why should anyone care? Those are simple questions you can ask yourself that really will help you separate and really think about what your company or organization is really about. And it's not even just for your business, this is for yourself individually. And so what that looks like then is once you have a clear idea or clear vision of what your purpose looks like, you're able to make better decisions. You're able to make the right plans, the right daily moves in order to create a more meaningful life. Now, this is a great quote by Stephen Covey, the guy who wrote 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And it's, if the ladder isn't leaning on against the right wall, every step we take just gets us to the wrong place faster. How many of you guys feel like that's happening in your business right now? You're making all these decisions, but you feel like you're not really moving anywhere further. So step 2. Define and align your value system. So the way it's set up when we build out brands, it looks like this. Your purpose is at the core. It should be the starting point of everything you do. Then your vision, your mission, your goals, they sit on top of that. And the reason why this chart is displayed like this is because your purpose is like an overarching theme. It should never change. But as your business evolves, as you evolve as humans, your vision, your mission, and your goals will change. but this purpose always has to remain the same. It's the one constant thing that you should have for your business. And so this is how it's broken down. Your purpose guides you. It's like the bumpers when you're in a bowling alley. It leads you where you need to go. Your vision then is the destination. It's where you aspire to be. Your mission is how you're gonna get there. And then your goals is the impact that matters. And so when we think of our goal is to be the number one XYZ, that doesn't really have impact for anyone except for yourselves. And in our world today, it's a two-way conversation now. And so you have to create a way that makes your business of value. So step 3, be of value and versus standing out. A lot of the times when you hear about branding, it's always about imagery. It's always about how do I be noticed more than someone else? How do I stand apart from everybody else? How do I be seen? Attention, me. And that in our day-to-day doesn't really work anymore, right? Think of what's happening in our industries or just in business in general. Everyone has access to the same tools and technologies as anyone else. All it takes is for someone to spend a little bit more money, and they will be at the same level as your business. Just think about that for a second. Competition and being competitive with each other is almost at a very minimal now. And even if there is a chance that you can compete, your difference in revenue is not even that big. And so how do you fix that? Think of your customer. It always starts with them first. This is what your customers are really telling you guys. Tell me what you believe. Inspire me in a way that speaks to my mind and touches my heart. Point me to the higher calling that gives me meaning and connects my heart to yours. Now think about how many times do you like it when people sell to you? Do you actually buy from them? Raise your hand. How many guys don't like to be sold to? Raise your hand. How many guys think you actually buy from the person rather than what you're buying? And this is kind of what we're talking about. But how do you add that meaning? It's all about your brand. And so this is kind of the work that we do, is we help companies come to clarity, being relatable, and to have meaning. When you're clear about what you do, people know exactly who you are, they understand, they can relate to you. When they relate to you, they look at you and they engage with you on a deeper level. And when you're meaningful, it's not just about being memorable, it's about creating impact, being of value. It means something more to them. Think of the things that you keep at home that you think are sacred or keepsakes. You don't want to let them go. Why? Because it has meaning, it has value, not just about being a memory. And who here would love to get their business to this type of clarity? Raise your hand. So, before I wrap up and tell you my last story, is there any questions so far before I finish up here? Wow, tough crowd. Okay, so my last story, and this is kind of what really touched my heart and just kind of opened my eyes to brand. And so I was working at a company once, and I was working with a graphic designer. And so she was brought in to help innovate the company, right? She was a very forward thinker. She was such a progressive person. She did everything she could in order to bring the company to the next level. But she always got belittled by leadership. She was always put down for some reason. One day, I was in the office with her, and our boss comes in, and he starts yelling at her, and he brings out a postcard that she designed. And the first thing he said to her was, "Who would do this? Who would put this on here?" And what he was referring to was a little square box on the back of a postcard. And he started to belittle her and say, "Did you go to school? Did you go to college? Why would you put that there?" And this was a constant thing. It wasn't just that one day. It was a constant thing. And so I would always watch her and be like, wow, you can put up with a lot of stuff, right? Because, I mean, if it were me, I would have walked out a long time ago. But she stayed put, and she stayed the course. And so it came to a point where she decided she was going to leave. She found a different job, or she was about to go on her own venture. And so on the last day of her work, she came into the office, and she was greeted by the whole entire staff with a cake applauding her, with no managers there. Now think of that visual for a second there. Everyone saw value in her, and they applauded her. And I had asked her, like, what made you put up with all this stuff and make you want to, decide to go on your own? And her answer to me was, I know who I am. I have clarity in what I believe in and what I stand for. And for me, this is just getting me to where I need to go. And that's why I put up with everything. So, thank you guys.